to this edition of Book Review. Today we shall continue our review of the book titled Gardens of Delight, a simple introduction to Islam. Our guest is writer Idris Tawfiq. British Muslim writer Idris Tawfiq continues to talk about his book Gardens of Delight, a simple introduction to Islam.
If you've ever been to a funeral, the minister will never say, he doesn't get up and say, this man had a lot of shoes. The preacher never says, this man had a very good job and a good car. The preacher never says, he went on 2 holidays a year. They never say that at funerals, do they? What he does say, if he says anything, is, this man was a good father to his children. He was a good husband to his wife.
In this third episode, Idris Tawfiq also continues to talk about his attempt to encourage tolerance and dialogue between people. Author Idris Tawfiq says that his writing is intended for people of all religions and those of none.
Now, why am I telling you this? Because in Gardens of Delight, a simple introduction to Islam, I've tried to say what Islam says that's really important. And in life, what's important to us at the end of the day is not how many shoes we've got, or how many cars we've got, or how many holidays we go on. What's important in our lives is what's deepest in our heart. And Islam says that what is deepest in our heart is the people we love, our families, our children, our loved ones, and Almighty Allah. And all of a Muslim's life is spent trying to serve Allah, to submit his will to that of Allah, to be a good person, to be a good Muslim, to be kind to other people, to spend time in prayer, to spend time fasting, to give money to the poor, and to make the pilgrimage, the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, that all Muslims are required to make once in their lifetime, if they can afford to do so. Now, we said last time that Islam, the book rather, talks about Allah. Well, the book also talks about Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Muslims believe that Islam has existed since the beginning of time. We said that Muslims believe Islam has no founder. Muhammad is not the founder of Islam. Muslims believe Prophet Muhammad to be the last in a long line of prophets, the final, the seal of the prophets, the last one of all, who finally gives God's final revelation to mankind.
He says that here in Egypt, where he writes for different newspapers, he uses the same gentle approach, trying to give a thought to ponder on in whatever he says.
And so, continuing with the book, we talk about prayer. If you've ever heard the adhan, the call to prayer, if you've been to an Arab country, if you walk through any street in Cairo, you hear the call to prayer 5 times a day. And in the book, in Gardens of Delight, I compare the adhan to an air raid siren. Just as an air raid siren calls people to take shelter, to hurry and take shelter, the call to prayer, the adhan, calls people to take shelter from the cares of the world and to concentrate on what's important in life. It asks them to put aside for a short time their work and their family and all of the concerns that are up here. And it asks them to concentrate on what's in here and bow in submission to Almighty Allah. And Prophet Muhammad, Muslims believe, is not a god, is not a saint, but a very ordinary man, the best of men, Muslims call him. Every time they mention his name, they say, Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon their Prophet. And because Prophet Muhammad was such a good, kind, strong, pious man, Muslims believe that they too, despite all the problems of life, life is hard, Muslims believe that if Prophet Muhammad ﷺ could live that way, they too, by following his example, called his sunnah, what he said and what he did, by following his example, they too can be good Muslims, kind to other people and submitting their lives totally to Almighty Allah. And so in Gardens of Delight, a simple introduction to Islam, we go through one by one the 5 pillars of Islam, saying what Muslims believe and allowing Muslims to speak for themselves.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.